Anime isn't afraid to make a statement by juxtaposing cute characters with disturbingly dark themes, heightening the horror. Anime is commonly dismissed by some people as being too childish. This isn't surprising given the format's choice for bright colors, exaggerated expressions, cute characters, and other quirks. But even so, just because an anime seems to be aimed for children does not imply that it is. There are a lot of anime out there that use the colorful style of anime to tell an interestingly dark story about themes that may be too close to home. The Abyss, a hole of unprecedented depth, one young girl and a robot brave its dangers to find the truth. The town of Orth is a special one, as it is built around the edges of the massive abyss, a wonder which has never been fully explored. Those who venture too far down never return, but those brave enough to traverse its territories are known as cave raiders, and are heralded as legends. Within this town lives a young girl called Riko, the child of one of the most famous cave raiders of all time who disappeared on an expedition many years ago. One day, Riko's life changes when she meets a strange robot called Reg, who seems to appear from within the abyss. Believing this to be a sign from her mother stuck at the bottom of the abyss, Riko descends into its depths with Reg, ready to confront all the dangers within it. Riko, an aspiring adventurer, and her robot friend Reg are the focus of Made in Abyss. They explore the abyss as a group, a massive cave system so vast and sprawling that it's divided into layers with their own ecosystems. As inviting as this premise sounds, the anime is far from light-hearted and cheerful. The abyss is a terrifying world unto itself, populated by dangerous beasts and more monstrous people eager to inflict all manner of horrors on others, for whatever reason they can conjure. Riko and Reg's journey to the Abyss Center, where Riko's mother appears to be staying, is marked by desperation and suffering rather than adventure. Why would anyone form a school living club? Could 4 girls, their advisor, and a puppy really love their school so much that they'd want to live in it? Or is there another reason, something that lurks behind the facade of their comfortable existence? Something that waits outside their school's doors? Something that has already robbed one girl of her sanity? While the others try to come to grips with a dark new reality, the rest of the world falls to ruin at the hands of a ravenous force, and insanity may be the last hope for survival. Shocks, heartbreak and stunning revelations await as the twisted tale unfolds. At first glance, School Live appeared to be just another cutesy school anime. Yuki enjoyed going to school, especially when she could spend time with the other members of the Life Club. However, the memorable pilot episode's final seconds revealed that everything is happening entirely in her mind. In reality, the school has been overrun by zombies, and the members of the club are the only survivors. To cope with the trauma of barely surviving the undead invasion, Yuki mentally escaped to a fantasy in which school goes on as usual, complete with her now-dead classmates and teachers still talking to her. This is used in the anime to demonstrate that sympathetic escapism will never beat the alternative, which is accepting hard, often depressing truths. Eccentric and blunt, the walrus Hiroshi Odokawa lives a relatively normal life. He drives a taxi for a living, and there he meets several unique individuals. The jobless Taichi Kabasawa who is dead set on going viral, the mysterious nurse Miho Shirakawa, the struggling comedic duo Homo sapiens, and Dobu, a well-known delinquent. But Odokawa's simple way of life is about to be turned upside down. The case of a missing girl the police have been tracking leads back to him, and now both the Yakuza and a duo of corrupt cops are on his tail. Set in a strangely familiar city filled with unusual individuals, Odd Taxi is a bizarre story about a humble taxi driver and the mystery of a lost high schooler. Odd Taxi appeared to be a relatable adult sitcom about an anthropomorphic character stuck in an unfulfilling 9-to-5 job, at first sight. Some folks thought it would be the next Agretsuko. Odokawa's nightly taxi routes and encounters with eccentric passengers, on the other hand, were the start of a complex web of conspiracies. Aside from the fact that it revolves around a missing girl who may or may not be dead, Odd Taxi delves into the minds of Odokawa and everyone else who works or lives in the shady parts of town he passes through. Despite many introspective character arcs, Odokawa remains the focal point, and the anime's anthropomorphic world is directly related to past traumas he has yet to overcome. The story is about a love triangle between the male protagonist Makoto and the two heroines Kotonoha and Sekai. Makoto develops a love interest in Kotonoha, a girl in the same year but different class. Although they both take the same train to school, she is unaware of his existence. His classmate, Sekai, manages to put the two together despite holding strong feelings towards Makoto. Despite a more mature take on a love triangle between Makoto, Kotonoha, and Sekai, School Days appeared to be an ordinary-looking romantic comedy about students. However, as the episodes continued, it became clear that the three were harboring an unhealthy amount of resentment, which erupted violently in the finale. Sekai brutally murdered Makoto after he emotionally manipulated, and then rudely dumped her before being murdered herself by Kotonoha in retaliation. As melodramatic and trashy as it could be, School Days took the cliched conflicts of the cutesy rom-com to their lowest and proved why playing with other people's emotions is a bad idea. Rika Furude and her group of friends live in the small mountain village of Hinamizawa. In June 1983, they welcomed transfer student Keiichi Mibara into their ranks, making him the only boy in their group. After school, they have fun playing games and spending each day living their lives to the fullest. Despite this seemingly normal routine, Keiichi begins noticing strange behavior from his friends, who seem to be hiding the town's dark secrets from him. Elsewhere, a certain person watches these increasingly unsettling events unfold and remembers all the times that this, and other similar stories, have played out. Using that knowledge, this person decides to fix these broken worlds. However, when certain variables change, the individual is faced with a horrifying realization. They have no idea what to expect or how to stop the impending tragedy. While it wasn't the first of its kind, the original Higurashi, When They Cry undoubtedly kicked off the 2000s craze of horrifying anime with deceptively cute art styles and character designs. In fact, Higurashi appears to the uninitiated as a kid-friendly slice-of-life anime about a fun vacation in the Hinamizawa countryside. This first impression only adds to the character's suffering, which includes brutal murders and grueling torture, and the Great Hinamizawa Disaster. Worse, Keiichi, Rika, and everyone else die countless times across a multiverse of parallel realities from which they cannot escape. From a dying planet shall come the children of light. While on vacation on a small island, young Shina Tamai dives under the water near an old shrine and discovers an unearthly starfish-like creature. She nearly drowns but is rescued by the silent, wide-eyed little animal, who Shina befriends and names Hashimaru. To Shina's surprise and delight, the creature changes shape, lets Shina stand on him, and the two fly off into the clouds. But what looks to be a young girl's ultimate fantasy soon takes a darker turn as Shina and Hashimaru become entangled in a struggle between rival extraterrestrial factions who battle in the skies upon huge alien beasts called shadow dragons, with the fate of Earth hanging in the balance. Shadow Star, or Narutaru, could easily be mistaken for a Pokemon clone, despite being created by the same man who created the equally depressing Bokurano. In reality, the anime depicts how the dragon's children would not only aggravate already troubled children, but also threaten reality itself. Shina Tamai and Hashimaru are genuine nice people, but their fellow dragon bearer/children dragons pairs who use their powers to bully others or go on a bloody rampage are not. The manga went even darker than the anime, with an apocalyptically nihilistic ending that rivaled the end of Evangelion. In a civilized society of anthropomorphic animals, an uneasy tension exists between carnivores and herbivores. At Cheriton Academy, this mutual distrust peaks after a predation incident results in the death of Tem, an alpaca in the school's drama club. Tem's friend Legosi, a grey wolf in the stage crew, has been an object of fear and suspicion for his whole life. In the immediate aftermath of the tragedy, he continues to lay low and hide his menacing traits, much to the disapproval of Lewis, a red deer and the domineering star actor of the drama club. When Lewis sneaks into the auditorium to train Tem's replacement for an upcoming play, he assigns Lugosi to lookout duty. That very night, Lugosi has a fateful encounter with Haru, a white dwarf rabbit scorned by her peers. His growing feelings for Haru, complicated by his predatory instincts, force him to confront his own true nature, the circumstances surrounding the death of his friend, and the undercurrent of violence plaguing the world around him. Beastars was jokingly dubbed anime's Zootopia when it was first announced. Surprisingly, this punchline only scratched the surface of the anime. Despite featuring adorable to cool anthropomorphic animals, the anime was a mix of erotica, a murder mystery, crime fiction, social critique, and more. The characters' animal ancestors were used to make hard-hitting comments about race and prejudice, while Lugosi and Haru's romance was much more than just two students falling in love. Aside from the campus drama, there was a well-realized criminal underworld that became an increasingly important part of the characters' lives as the episodes progressed. Amid the desolate remains of a once thriving city, only the rumbling of a motorbike breaks the cold winter silence. Its riders, Chido and Yuri, are the last survivors in the war-torn city. Scavenging old military sites for food and parts, the two girls explore the wastelands and speculate about the old world to pass the time. Chido and Yuri each occasionally struggle with the looming solitude, but when they have each other, sharing the weight of being two of the last humans becomes a bit more bearable. Between Yuri's clumsy excitement and Chido's calm composure, their dark days get a little brighter with shooting practice, new books, and snowball fights on the frozen battlefield. Among a scenery of barren landscapes and deserted buildings, Girls' Last Tour tells the uplifting tale of two girls and their quest to find hope in a bleak and dying world. The world of Girls' Last Tour is nearing its end. Not only was civilization destroyed by an unspecified past event, but what remains of the human race is simply too few to repopulate the barren planet. Despite the grim post-apocalyptic setting, the anime's characters, particularly the protagonists, Chido and Yuri, look like they came from a cute MOA show. Chido and Yuri travel the dying world, enjoying its last pleasures such as discovering old technology or exploring interesting ruins. Girls' Last Tour would have fit in perfectly with other innocent slice-of-life anime about girls enjoying hobbies, like K-On! Or laid-back camp, if not for its bittersweet resignation to death and emptiness. One night, 14-year-old Madoka Kaname has a terrible nightmare. Against the backdrop of a devastated city, she witnesses a girl fight a losing battle against a dreadful being lingering above, while a cat-like magical creature tells Madoka the only way to change such tragic outcome is for her to make a contract with him and become a magical girl. The next day, the teen's dream seemingly becomes reality as the girl she saw in her dream, Homura, arrives at Maidakihara Middle School as a transfer student, mysteriously warning Madoka to stay just the way she is. But when later on she and her best friend Sayaka encounter the same cat-like magical creature from her dream, who introduces himself as Kyubei, the pair discovers that magical girls are real, and what's more, they can choose to become one. All they must do is sign a contract with Kyubei and agree to take on the duty to fight abstract beings called witches that spread despair to the human world, and in return, each one of them will be granted any single wish they desire. However, as Homura's omen suggests, there might be far more to becoming a magical girl than Madoka and Sayaka realize. There hasn't been a recent anime as deceptively cute as Puella Magi Madoka Magica. At first glance, it appeared to be yet another entry in the oversaturated magical girl genre. But, as the episodes progressed, Madoka revealed itself to be not only darker and gorier than its contemporaries, but also an existential nightmare. Being a magical girl is painful in this world, but their pain was barely noticeable as a blip in a reality that was at the mercy of higher powers beyond anyone's comprehension. Madoka went further than even the most ardent fans expected with the film Rebellion, in which Homura Akemi became evil incarnate as the only way to break the cycle. Once you make a decision, does the universe conspire to make it happen? Is destiny a matter of chance, a matter of choice, or the complex outcome of thousands of warring strands of fate? All twins Kanba and Shoma know is that when their terminally ill sister Himari collapses at the aquarium, her death is somehow temporarily reversed by the penguin hat that she had asked for. It's a provisional resurrection, however, and it comes at a price. To keep Himari alive, they need to find the mysterious penguin drum. In order to do that, they must first find the links to a complex interlocking chain of riddles that has wrapped around their entire existence, and unravel the knots that tie them to mystifying diary and a baffling string of strangers and semi-acquaintances, who all have their own secrets, agendas, and survival strategies. And in order for Himari to live, someone else's chosen destiny will have to change. It's a story of love, fate, life, death, and penguins. Penguin Drum appears to begin as an absurd blend of magical realism and slice-of-life drama, with twin brothers Kanba and Shoma striking a deal with a penguin-themed princess to bring their sister back from the dead. When the characters' secrets are revealed, things take a sharp, dark turn. The siblings are the children of terrorists who carried out lethal bombings in 1995, the same year as the real-life Tokyo subway sarin attacks. Penguin Drum used surrealism to reflect on the human cost of such a crime, where society would rather forget it while blaming the younger generations for the damage. Now with all of that done, what's your favorite cute but dark anime? Do you have any other suggestions? I hope you enjoyed the video and thanks for watching till the end. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want to see more and support what I do. Thanks again and I hope you have a nice day.